Redemption 2. NBA 2K22 continued to grow its audience, with the title selling in over 10 million units to date and exceeding sell-in from the prior year. During the fourth quarter, engagement remained very strong, with average active days of playing up 6% and average games per user up 13% year over year. In addition, NBA 2K22 Arcade Edition continues to hold the #1 position on Apple Arcade's top game chart, and for the full year, downloads of NBA 2K Mobile increased nearly 25% as compared with fiscal 2021. We see a significant opportunity to add unique and innovative experiences throughout the game and focus on expanding our player base. On March 11th, 2K and Visual Concepts returned triumphantly to the squared circle with the eagerly anticipated release of WWE 2K22, which achieved the highest Metacritic scores on both Xbox and PlayStation platforms in franchise history. Setting new benchmarks for quality, the title offers more features and enhancements than any prior release in the series, including a redesigned gameplay engine, new controls, foundational improvements, upgraded visuals, and an array of options requested by our passionate player base. Notably, WWE 2K22's
Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear the
exceeded the levels achieved for both WWE 2K19 and WWE 2K20, even with a revised release window that was not during the holiday season. Consumer engagement with the title has been outstanding, with over 140 million in-game matches played to date and over 5.6 million hours of WWE 2K22 content viewed on Twitch. I'd like to thank 2K and the WWE team of Visual Concepts for their commitment to reestablishing this incredible franchise. We greatly appreciate WWE's immense support in launching this year's game and look forward to continuing and building upon our successful partnership in the years to come. On March 25th, 2K and Gearbox Software released Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, an all-new, fantasy-fueled offering that has taken our partnership with Gearbox to new creative heights and is viewed as the best new franchise launch from 2K in several years. The title has resonated with core fans and new audiences alike, with nearly 30% of players having never before played a Borderlands title. To date, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands has exceeded our expectations and is being supported with cross-play functionality, an array of post-launch content, and a season pass. I'd like to congratulate 2K and Gearbox on delivering another stellar game, and we look forward to the possibilities for this new franchise in the years to come. During the fourth quarter, Rockstar Games expanded the reach of their iconic entertainment experience, Grand Theft Auto V, with the release of new versions of the game upgraded specifically for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. This marked the third console generation for which the game has been made available since its initial launch in 2013, and to date, the title has sold in more than 165 million units. Also, for the first time ever, Grand Theft Auto Online was made available as a standalone title for the latest generation consoles. Featuring an array of graphical and technical enhancements, a new career builder, new vehicles, and more, these versions were well received by the game's vast community of players. In the period, Grand Theft Auto Online maintained its massive audience size from the prior year, while growing 8% and 74% as compared to the fourth quarters of fiscal 2020 and 2019, respectively. In addition, Rockstar Games launched GTA Plus, an all-new membership program that's exclusive to Grand Theft Auto Online players on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles, whereby participants can receive a range of valuable player-friendly benefits, including a monthly deposit of GTA dollars and other bonuses designed to help players experience everything Grand Theft Auto Online has to offer, including access to major content packs like last holiday's The Contract. Initial conversion has been above our expectations, which we believe bodes well for this to be an ongoing engagement driver over time.
Oh, come on.
Red Dead Redemption 2 continued to expand its audience and to date has sold in more than 44 million units worldwide. Results for the series were notably above our expectations for the period, which is further proof of the ongoing popularity of Rockstar's blockbuster entertainment experiences.
Damn.
Turning to Private Division, the label's recently acquired studio, Roll7, successfully launched Ollie Ollie World in February, which received significant critical praise for its unique art style and impressive gameplay mechanics. We'll support the title with its first expansion, Void Riders, in the first half of this fiscal year. championing the best independent talent in our industry. Private Division recently signed 4 new publishing agreements with leading independent developers, Die Fabrik, Evening Star, Piccolo Studio, and Yellow Brick Games. We look forward to working with these talented teams. During the fourth quarter, recurrent consumer spending declined 6% over last year and accounted for 60% of net bookings. Over the past few months, the consumer has seen a wide array of long-awaited, high-quality new releases in the market, including several of our own exciting titles that have not deployed significant live service offerings. We believe that this dynamic has impacted our overall recurrent consumer spending. NBA 2K and Grand Theft Auto Online were the largest contributors to recurrent consumer spending during the fourth quarter, and many of our free-to-play offerings were notable drivers as well. Top 11 continued to perform very well following our acquisition and was our #1 mobile title during the fourth quarter. Two Dots delivered notable year-over-year growth and posted best ever net bookings performance, driven by new in-game events and successful marketing activations. Dragon City and Monster Legends delivered a solid finish to the year, supported by enhanced live operations. WWE Supercard has now been downloaded more than 26 million times and remains 2K's highest-grossing mobile game. And NBA 2K Online in China outperformed our expectations. The title remains the #1 online PC sports game in the region, with nearly 57 million registered users. We're incredibly excited about our future path of growth, including our pending combination with Zynga. We believe that this will be a transformative moment for Take-Two as we continue to build upon our core tenets to become the most innovative, the most creative, and the most efficient entertainment company in the world. Combined, we'll create a powerhouse of industry-leading titles that span key platforms and genres across interactive entertainment, developed by some of the most creative and forward-thinking talent within the industry. Later this week, our respective shareholders will vote on the transaction, which, assuming such approvals are obtained, we anticipate will close on May 23rd, 2022.
May 23rd they'll close
on a standalone basis for fiscal 2023, we expect to achieve a new record of $3.75 billion to $3.85 billion in net bookings as we plan to deliver many new exciting releases during the year. Looking ahead and excluding the impact of our combination with Zynga, we expect fiscal 2024 and fiscal 2025 to set even higher records of net bookings for our company, alongside a significant ramp-up in profitability. Laney will provide additional details on our outlook shortly, while Carl will share an update on our exciting diverse multi-year pipeline, including approximately 69 titles that we plan to release through fiscal 2025. In closing, we're highly optimistic about our future. As we continue to expand our enterprise and execute on our growth strategies, we believe that Take-Two remains incredibly well-positioned to increase its scale and prominence within the industry, expand margins, and deliver long-term value for our shareholders. I'll now turn the call over to Carl.
Thanks, Ross. I'd like to begin by thanking our teams around the world for delivering another outstanding year for our company. Strong results were driven by our colleagues' passion, creativity, and commitment to deliver value for all of our stakeholders. I'll now discuss our recent first quarter releases. On April 21st, 2K and Gearbox Software released Coiled Captors, the first of 4 exciting downloadable content packs in the Tiny Tina's Wonderland Season Pass. Featuring a new environment, boss encounter, and legendary loot, the offering represents an innovative post-launch experience from this exciting new franchise. On April 26th, 2K and Visual Concepts launched the Banzai Pack, featuring 5 playable superstars plus My Faction Evo cards for each. This is the first of 5 downloadable planned content offerings for WWE 2K22, all of which will be available individually and as part of the game's season pass throughout the year. Looking ahead, fiscal 2023 will be another exciting year for Take-Two, as we deliver captivating new entertainment experiences for our players, while also growing our business through our pending combination with Zynga. I'll now provide details on Take-Two's fiscal 2023 pipeline on a standalone basis, which includes 18 planned releases. We expect to deliver 6 immersive core offerings, all of which will be available for purchase. These include The Quarry, which is an all-new horror narrative game from 2K and Supermassive Games, where every choice, big or small, shapes your story and determines who lives to tell the tale. Featuring an iconic ensemble cast of Hollywood stars, including David Arquette, Ariel Winter, Justice Smith, Brenda Song, Lance Hendrickson, Lynn Shea, and more, The Quarry will launch on June 10th for PlayStation and Xbox consoles and Windows PC via Steam. Marvel's Midnight Suns is planned for release during the second half of calendar 2022 and is one of this year's most anticipated games. The title is being developed by Firaxis Games, the acclaimed studio that brought audiences such iconic franchises as Sid Meier's Civilization and XCOM, and features the Marvel Universe's most revered heroes in an entirely new gameplay experience. 2K will have more to share in the coming months. Kerbal Space Program 2, which is coming from Private Division and Intercept Games, is now expected to launch on PC in early calendar 2023 and on consoles later in calendar 2023. Anticipation for the title is high, with more than 12 million views of the announcement trailer. The dedicated Kerbal community can look forward to more information about the game and its new features from the title's ongoing gameplay reveal video series. Turning to our annual sports offerings, fans can expect all new releases from our popular sports series, including NBA 2K23, WWE 2K23, and PGA Tour 2K23, which will debut legendary golf icon Tiger Woods as the game's executive director.
Tiger Woods, yo.
2K will have more to share about these titles shortly.
2K's got some big titles coming out.
Continuing with our fiscal 2023 pipeline, we plan to release 8 mobile titles, including 4 from new franchises and 4 from existing franchises, and 3 mid-core arcade titles for purchase, which include 1 new sports title from 2K, a new franchise from Private Division, and a new Tales from the Borderlands game, which will feature new characters and stories set in the Borderlands universe. And lastly, we'll have 1 new iteration of a previous release title available for purchase. Our labels will continue to provide new content and experiences that drive engagement and recurrent consumer spending across many of their hit franchises, including NBA 2K, Grand Theft Auto Online, Red Dead Redemption Online, WWE 2K, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, OlliOlli World, and more. Excluding our pending combination with Zynga, we expect to deliver 51 titles throughout fiscal 2024 and fiscal 2025, which we believe will pave the way for us to achieve a strong acceleration in net bookings and growth and profitability. This includes 18 immersive core releases, 7 of which are sports simulation games. 16 of these will be available for purchase, while 2 will be free to play. 10 independent titles, which will all be available for purchase. 12 free-to-play mobile games. 4 mid-core games for purchase, 2 of which will be sports-oriented. And 7 new iterations of previously released titles, which will all be available for purchase. It bears noting that these titles are a snapshot of our current development pipeline. It is likely that some of these titles will not be developed through completion, that launch timing may change, and that we will also be adding new titles to our slate. In addition to our full game releases, we will continue to offer post-launch content from many of our releases, ranging from virtual currency sales to DLC packs and season passes. Turning to esports, the NBA 2K League kicked off its 5th season on March 23rd and included new sponsors such as Google and Coinbase. This year, the league has partnered with the city of Indianapolis to bring all tournaments as well as playoffs and finals to its new home at the Pavilion at Pan Am. The league's overall prize pool has increased to $2.5 million this season, the largest since its inception. We remain very excited about the continued success and growth of the NBA 2K League, which has a long-term potential to enhance engagement and to be a driver of profits for our company. In closing, as we execute on our organic growth initiatives and unlock new opportunities presented by our pending transaction with Zynga, we believe that we can broaden our portfolio and capitalize further on new platforms, business models, emerging markets, and distribution channels. As we deliver on these growth opportunities, we believe that Take2 is exceedingly well positioned to deliver long-term value for our shareholders. I'll now turn the call over to Lainie.
Thanks, Carl, and good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll discuss our fourth quarter and fiscal 2022 results and then review our financial outlook for the full year and first quarter of fiscal 2023. Please note that our initial outlook does not include Zynga in our projected results or the interest expense on the notes that Take2 issued in April to fund the cash portion for our pending acquisition of Zynga. Additional details regarding our actual results and outlook are contained in our press release. I'm extremely pleased with the accomplishments that Take-Two delivered during the fourth quarter and fiscal year. We posted strong financial results, took exciting steps to position the company for long-term growth, and announced our transformational pending combination with Zynga, which brings massive potential to our portfolio and financial profile. I'd like to thank our teams for their passion, commitment, and for continuing to help Take-Two deliver its strategic vision. Starting with our fourth quarter, total net bookings grew 8% to $846 million. Our newly released WWE 2K22 and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands outperformed our expectations, as did Red Dead Redemption 2. During the period, digitally delivered net bookings grew 4% and accounted for 91% of the total. This exceeded our outlook of a slight increase due to the outperformance of digitally delivered full game sales. 75% of console game sales were delivered digitally, up slightly from last year.
Wow.
As Jeff mentioned, over the last few months, there's been a wide array of long-awaited, high-quality new releases in the market, including several of our own exciting titles that have not deployed significant live service offerings. Accordingly, our recurrent consumer spending declined 6% and accounted for 60% of total net bookings. GAAP net revenue grew 11% to $930 million, while cost of goods sold increased 43% to $399 million, driven by amortization of software development costs for our fourth quarter release. Operating expenses increased by 32% to $403 million, driven by the addition of Nordeus, including its earnout, as well as higher marketing and transaction costs. And GAAP net income was $111 million, or 95 cents per share, compared to $219 million, or $1.88 per share in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2021. Turning to our fiscal 2022 results, total net bookings were $3.41 billion as compared to $3.55 billion in the prior year. As we expected, throughout the year, our engagement trends were notably higher than they were pre-pandemic. However, as the world began settling into a new normal, there was a moderation of the trends that benefited our industry during the height of the pandemic. As a result, digitally delivered net bookings declined 2%, slightly outperforming our guidance of a 3% decline, and accounted for 91% of the total. 68% of our console game sales were delivered digitally, up from 64% last year, and recurrent consumer spending declined 6%. Non-GAAP adjusted unrestricted operating cash flow was $425 million, as compared to our outlook of over $400 million. During fiscal 2022, we spent $159 million on capital expenditures. At fiscal year end, our cash and short-term investments balance was approximately $2.6 billion. GAAP net revenue grew 4% to $3.5 billion, while cost of goods sold was flat at $1.5 billion. Operating expenses increased 24% to $1.5 billion, driven primarily by the additions of Playdots and Nordeus, including the revaluation of its earnout, higher personnel, stock compensation, marketing and IT expenses, and higher transaction costs. And GAAP net income was $418 million, or $3.58 per share, as compared to $589 million, or $5.09 per share in the prior year. Today, we provided our initial fiscal 2023 outlook for Take-Two on a standalone basis. We project net bookings to range from $3.75 to $3.85 billion, which is a new record level for the company and implies strong growth of 11% at the midpoint. We have an exciting pipeline of releases that we expect to bring to market during the year, including 6 immersive core titles, which is twice as many as we delivered in fiscal 2022. The largest contributors to net bookings are expected to be NBA 2K, Grand Theft Auto Online and Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Marvel's Midnight Suns, and PGA Tour 2K23. We expect the net bookings breakdown from our labels to be roughly 60% 2K, 30% Rockstar Games, and 10% Private Division and T2 Mobile Games. And we forecast our geographic net booking split to be about 60% United States and 40% international.
Wow.
And we expect recurrent consumer spending to be flat compared to fiscal 2022 and represent 58% of net bookings, which is down from 64% last year due to a greater number of new releases. We project digitally delivered net bookings to grow 10% and represent 91% of net bookings, which is in line with last year. Our forecast assumes that 71% of console and game sales will be delivered digitally, up from 68% last year. We expect to generate more than $350 million in non-GAAP adjusted unrestricted operating cash flow, and we plan to deploy approximately $120 million for capital expenditures. We expect GAAP net revenue to range from $3.67 to $3.77 billion and cost of goods sold to range from $1.66 to $1.7 billion. Our total operating expenses are expected to range from $1.74 to $1.76 billion. At the midpoint, this represents a 17% increase over the prior year. As Carl mentioned, we have approximately 69 titles that we plan to deliver over the next 3 years, and we will be investing behind our pipeline in key areas such as marketing, personnel, and IT. And we expect GAAP net income to range from $223 to $252 million, or $1.90 to $2.15 per share. For management reporting purposes, we expect our tax rate to be 16% throughout fiscal 2023. Now moving on to our guidance for the fiscal first quarter. We project net bookings to range from $700 to $750 million as compared to $711 million in the first quarter last year. The largest contributors to net bookings are expected to be NBA 2K22, Grand Theft Auto Online and Grand Theft Auto 5, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, The Quarry, and WWE 2K22.
So they're going to be putting some more stuff into Red Dead.
Net bookings to increase 2%. Our forecast assumes that 78% of console game sales will be delivered digitally, up from 73% in the same period last year.
Damn, a 5% increase.
We project the current consumer spending to decline by 10%, as we believe that the momentum behind our own exciting titles that have not deployed significant live service offerings will continue into the first quarter. We expect GAAP net revenue to range from $810 to $860 million and cost of goods sold to range from $307 to $333 million. Operating expenses are expected to range from $387 to $397 million. At the midpoint, this represents a 25% increase over last year, driven primarily by higher personnel and marketing expenses, as well as transaction costs. And GAAP net income is expected to range from $93 to $105 million, or 80 to 90 cents per share. In closing, we have great confidence in our ability to drive accelerated growth into fiscal 2023 and beyond. And we believe that our pending combination with Zynga will take our business to an even greater level of scale and profitability. As we execute on our strategic initiatives, we believe that we can deliver sustainable, profitable growth for our shareholders. Thank you. I'll now turn the call back to Strauss.
Thanks, Lainie and Carl. On behalf of our entire management team, I'd like to thank our colleagues for delivering another outstanding year. And to our shareholders, I'd like to express our appreciation for your continued support. We'll now take your questions. Operator?
Thank you. At this time, we'll be conducting a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you'd like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset.
I got to get this phone number to call in. I've got to.
Please, while we poll for questions.
Yeah, it's live right now, boys. Yeah, we're live.
Our first question comes from Andrew Urquhart with Jefferies. Please proceed with your question.
Great, thank you. Just 2 quick ones. The first one, on RCS, it looks like you're guiding that flat, and it was down in fiscal 22. Is that more a product of quantity, or is there something you're seeing in the underlying engagement stats that give you comfort that lapping some tough COVID comps here in the first half are doable? Thank you.
Yes, so the first year is definitely due to the comp against the year with COVID from last year. So we had a really strong Q1.
Everyone is at home.
Comping against that quarter was very difficult. And then this quarter, we were seeing a lot of people playing the full games that we put out, as well as some of our competitors. So that also affected RCS in the quarter.
Got it. And then in the guide, then just trying to understand why the guide was flat, and for it just seems like it's still fairly tough. So is it comfort coming back of more RCS for 23 or something else?
So in Q1, we're expecting to be down by about 10%, and that's the ongoing of what we're seeing in Q4, which is the players playing the full games of our games and some of our competitors. So we're continuing. We've seen that in Q1, and we expect to see that. For the full year, we expect to see it flat for the full year. So some of our new games that are coming out don't have any recurrent consumer spending associated with it. We expect NBA to be up for the year, and then GTA Online and Red Dead Online we expect to be down for the year.
Got it. Thank you so much. And then, Strauss, you did a wonderful podcast earlier in the month, I think, with Lion Tree. In it, you discussed M&A and the importance of listening to offers. Just out of curiosity, with the changing valuations we've seen across the landscape and the market that we're in, what are your broader thoughts on M&A activity here at the current levels and volatility in the market?
Well, no one likes to see their stock price experience a drawdown, but we ultimately will always trade on our fundamentals, and that's how we look at the company. So we have a really strong company. We continue to perform and outperform expectations, as we have in this quarter and in this past fiscal year. We've just issued initial guidance, which is a very positive look at our company and at the market. So we remain in a very optimistic place, and I think similarly situated companies probably feel the same way. When the overall market re-rates, there's nothing that we can do about it, nor something that we would wish to do about it. We don't need to access the capital markets at this price level. We're under-leveraged no matter how you look at it. We have a small amount of investment-grade debt coming with the closing of the Zynga transaction, and then we have a really powerful company that we expect to continue to fire on all cylinders. So momentary changes in the market are kind of irrelevant to us.
Got it. Thank you guys so much.
What? Your stock dropped $76. That's not...
Our next question comes from the line of Eric Handler with MKM Partners. Please proceed with your question.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the question. Two questions. Strauss, maybe you could start off. Do you think there's any type of shift going on in preferences among gamers for more story mode type of play versus, let's call it, the live services type of play, and people are just sort of craving that story mode a bit more lately?
Oh, good question.
It's Carl. Actually, I think that we never, as an industry, went away from the attractiveness of the story mode content. We've always said that we believe in that kind of content. We've always delivered on that as a company. It's the ultimate entertainment experience, and I think what you're seeing is you're just seeing some other games in the market capitalize on that. I think there are a number of them out there right now, so maybe it looks that way. But when you look at it over time, story-driven content has always been a significant portion of the activity and also the economy behind the industry, and we expect that to be the case going forward.
Then why don't you add any...
Great, thanks. And just as a second question...
DLC?
Comparing your guidance to what was in the S4 from a few months back, I'm curious if there was, when you look at the sort of puts and takes, it looks like the bookings guide is a little lower than your internal budget. The EPS guide is a little better than internal budgets. Anything you could talk about, maybe what's changed on the margin since then?
The projections that we gave in the S4 were, not exactly our guidance because these numbers reflected our internal estimates as of a point in time.
Not exactly what really happened.
December 2021. So there's always some fluidity in our release slate, our marketing plans, the overall operating expense needs, and those, can change our projections over time. Also, like our net bookings guidance was affected by the Russia-Ukraine situation, so those numbers are not included in our projections and in our guidance right now. So that really affected it. So there's always shifts in our impact on our software development costs and marketing expenses, which also affected the bottom line. So those are some of the differences between guidance and the S4.
Thanks, Lane.
Our next question comes from Matthew Thornton with Truist Securities. Please.
They're going to start blaming Halo here in a minute.
already hit on a little bit, but Lainey, I'm wondering if you can maybe quantify some of the discrete items that have kind of been going on the last 3 months. And what I'm getting at there is Russia, as you alluded to, as well as currency. How can we think about that headwind, maybe versus where we were 3 months ago? And then maybe more broadly, I don't know if this is for Strauss or Carl. Any latest thoughts on just where you think we are in the quote unquote reopening? Are we at a normal run rate? And similarly, just player behavior. Obviously, there's a lot going on again on the macro front. I'm kind of curious your thoughts on what you're seeing in the player behavior more broadly. Any color there would be very helpful. Thanks, guys.
Ooh, I like this, guys. Any color
for the
there?
first one, Russia and Ukraine is not a big material number for us, but it is something that did change between the S4 and our guidance. Probably a bigger difference in the top line was more of some of the fluidity in our release schedule. In terms of the currency, it wasn't a huge change for us between those few months. We have a pretty big natural hedge, so there really isn't a big change between then and now for us. When we set our guidance, we set it based on the spot rate at the time. So any major changes from the time that we set our forecast, that couldn't be a difference going forward. But as of right now, it's based on that spot rate.
And in terms of the post-COVID outlook, it does feel like we basically are in a normalized situation right now. And actually things have worked out basically as we thought they would. We expected that our audiences would stay with us, and they have. And we also expected that we would see some level of pullback in terms of engagement amongst that audience, which we've seen some of that. And I think you can see that reflected across the entire industry. But at this point, I would characterize it as we sort of normalized, we're stabilized, and I think we're back on the growth trajectory that we were all anticipating a year ago when we thought it would occur this way.
Our next question comes from Mario Lu with Barclays. Please with your question.
Great, thanks for taking the question. I have two on GTA. So for GTA Plus, you mentioned the conversion rate came in above your expectations. So is there a possibility of that subscription kind of being offered to the current gen players as well in the future? And then secondly, you mentioned that I believe the full year guide for GTA recurring consumer spending is going to be down this year. So how should we think about the cadence of updates, this year for GTA Online and going forward in terms of current gen versus next gen? Thanks.
Yeah, we haven't given out any news about broadening the subscription offering. We're thrilled about how it's been rolled out so far. We're thrilled with the conversion rate, and it's clear that consumers really like the opportunity to engage with Rockstar with GTA Online, and they value what we're offering through a subscription. And with regard to ongoing content updates,
Bullshit. Where are the
there's
numbers?
more content coming, and we're excited about that.
Where are the numbers? Show us the numbers for GTA Plus. I bet you it's way. He's blowing smoke up their
Our
ass.
next question comes from Colin Sebastian with Baird. Please proceed with your question.
All right, thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe just to follow up on the normalization of usage and engagement, monetization trends. I guess, we're looking at mounting concerns about a recession, maybe even stagflation. I think historically the industry's performed pretty well in economic slowdowns, downturns, but curious, Strauss, I guess how you're thinking about the macro environment. Are there scenarios where we could see an impact to the growth and investment strategy on the horizon? And related to that, on the mobile side, there are concerns that the softening we saw in the March quarter might continue through the year. So curious if that impacts at all your plans for Zynga integration and the synergies. Thanks.
Thanks for your question. Look, people would like to claim that entertainment is countercyclical or immune to cyclicality. That is not the case. The entertainment business will be affected by an overall economic slowdown. However, we can be seen as resistant to such a slowdown. So, for example, if you go back to 2008 and 2009, the market actually grew in 2008 by 20%. It did decline in 2009, but the 12% drop was less pronounced than many other business segments. And after September 11th, the U.S. gaming market actually grew by 42% in 01 and 11% in 02. So in the event of a consumer recession, and I'm not going to opine on that because I'm not sure my opinion is very valuable. In such an event, I think we will be resistant but not immune. But we can withstand any such slowdown without a problem. And look, if you put out great entertainment, people will come out for it, and they'll come out in good times and in bad. Sometimes they'll come out more in bad times. By the way, I don't think there's any evidence that we're going to have stagflation. Stagflation referred to a time, when there was both high unemployment and high inflation. And by high inflation, mortgage rates were over 16%. We're not in that ballpark. We're not close to that ballpark. And we have very low unemployment rates in this country right now. So stagflation doesn't seem to me to be a meaningful risk. Some kind of moderate recession, I suppose, is conceptually a risk, but it wouldn't have an impact on this business that we can perceive at the time. In terms of mobile games, T2 mobile games did just fine. They're performing incredibly well and continue to perform well in the fourth quarter. So, if that's any guide about how we're going to do, we feel just great about the pending combination with Zynga, and we think there's wonderful opportunities there. And we think that some of the challenges, for example, the post-IDFA world, actually create opportunities for a company that has the kind of consumer database that we collectively have.
I just found the number.
And the data analytics that we have to help us navigate that database.
Our next question comes from the line of Omar Dessouky with Bank of America. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, thanks very much. There's been some debate in the market as to the size of the total addressable market for Grand Theft Auto 6, which was discussed in a blog post by Rockstar. Because it will launch into the Gen 9 console cycle, whereas the Grand Theft Auto 5 launched slightly before PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were launched. So will such a graphically intensive game be as performant on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, or even the Nintendo Switch, as it will be on Xbox X and PlayStation 5? And does streaming technology have the potential to make older generation console and mobile devices capable of a satisfactory performance for such a state-of-the-art game?
Well, in reverse order, there aren't very many streaming platforms that are up and running right now. Stadia is still up and running. They don't have that many titles, and they have a relatively small audience. We've been very supportive of Stadia, but it's a tiny portion of our business, to be clear. And of course, there's Xbox. But these are not meaningful markets right now. I'm not sure I understood the question. If you're asking, will the launch of the next update in the Grand Theft Auto series, which has been discussed by Rockstar in a blog post, as you pointed out, have a salutary effect on the launch of upcoming platforms? Was that your question?
No,
about?
It's really the question of whether the installed base, we should think about the installed base as the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 plus Xbox X, PlayStation 5, or only Xbox X, PlayStation 5, in which case the TAM would be smaller.
Will the game come out for all
Rockstar hasn't talked about any details at all about the next iteration of Grand Theft Auto. So there'll be more information to come. But I have no doubt that when that moment comes, and there is another iteration, that we'll be releasing to a very robust market.
Okay, could I just ask you also a quick follow-up? In terms of your capitalized development expenses, do those typically accelerate, as you head closer towards the launch of a big game like Grand Theft Auto 6, or are they relatively flat over time?
It depends on what games are being worked on and how big the teams are that are working on the games. So over time, the balance on the balance sheet will go up and down based on what titles are releasing and how the games are being developed. But it doesn't go in line with any one specific game. There's a lot of games being worked on. As Carl mentioned, there's a large amount of titles that are in the pipeline, and most of those are capitalized other than our mobile titles.
Our next question comes from Benjamin Soff with Deutsche Bank. Please proceed with your question.
Hey guys, thanks for the question. So just now that the FIFA license is officially kind of up for grabs, I wanted to gauge your
I didn't know
interest
that.
in building out a soccer franchise, either simulation or non-simulation, and if you've looked into it or thought about it, how do you see the different opportunities and challenges there? Thanks.
Well, we noticed, and we tend to be thoughtful about our business at all times. We're excited about building out our sports business, and we don't have much else to say at the moment.
Okay.
Our next question comes from Brian Fitzgerald with Wells Fargo. Please proceed with your question.
Thank you. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. It was featured in the PS5, PlayStation Plus, and it included a pre-order from Wonderland. So, just wondering if that Dragon's Keep engagement, corresponded with pre-ordering, eventually, drove conversions. If that was a unique dynamic, if that was helpful to how that particular marketing program works. And then, Strauss, you highlighted cross-play functionality with Tiny Tina. Is there anything notable to call out with respect to what you're seeing in the cross-platform play there, either versus other prior games or other cohorts of players? Because you mentioned a nice influx of those who had not previously played Borderlands games.
I'll take the second part of the question first in terms of the crossplay. Look, the crossplay component of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is terrific, and we're really excited about that. We think crossplay generally is great for the consumer. To have people being able to play against each other, with each other across console and PC, that's an ideal situation, and we do think that ability has helped with Tiny Tina. I don't have any specific data to share of how many of the new people was because of crossplay. That part I don't have to share, but I can tell you it's a good component, and it is very well executed by Gearbox. And I just could ask you I didn't really quite understand the first part of the question about Assault on Dragons. What was the specific question there?
So there
Dude,
was
ask if
I recall
GTA will get
correctly, there
crossplay.
was
Stop.
It was highlighted. Assault on Dragon was highlighted in PS5 and the PlayStation Plus, and it included a Wonderlands pre-order screen. So I'm just wondering if that engagement with Dragon Keep, kind of built momentum and drove conversions in terms of people pre-ordering or even engaging with that, and then eventually buying Wonderland.
Yeah, I would, again, I don't have specific numbers to share with you, but that was a significant marketing beat for us. Anytime that we can re-engage a consumer base into a franchise, particularly to launch a new franchise, it's going to have a very positive effect. And obviously, we were blessed to have Tiny Tina because that's one of the most beloved characters in the Borderlands series. So to have access to that and to put out some content prior to the release of Wonderlands obviously had a positive impact on us and drove momentum prior.
Our next question comes from Matthew Cost with Morgan Stanley. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the questions. I guess just on the hiring front, you mentioned in the prepared remarks that you added, 1,000 developers to the developer base this year. What are you seeing in the way of competition, for those developers and wage inflation? And if you are seeing any amount of wage inflation, is that impacting your outlook for hiring for the rest of the year? And then on the M&A front, obviously you're still in the process of closing the Zynga deal, but it does seem like we're in a moment after many years of running the business with very little leverage and cash on the balance sheet. Like there are opportunities out there to go after assets at depressed valuations. So I guess are you on the hunt post Zynga or more focused on kind of the integration effort in the near term? Thanks.
Thank you.
Sure. In terms of the wage inflation, I think like many other companies, we are feeling the impacts of wage inflation, and particularly since the labor market is pretty tight right now. That being said, we really do believe that we're very well positioned to attract and retain talent. We offer highly competitive compensation packages, benefit packages, many of which include profit sharing and equity. So when the company succeeds, our employees succeed, and that is very well appreciated. And there's also the element of our culture where people come here because they like to work here. and they can, and particularly on the creative side where they have the freedom to pursue their passions in a way that also enables them to enrich themselves at the same time. So yes, I would say everybody in the entire market is feeling some impact of the tight labor market, but I think generally speaking, we're pretty well positioned because we consider that a competitive strength of ours.
And on the M&A side, you know, our story has mostly been an organic growth story for a very long period of time. We've selectively acquired companies that have great intellectual property and great teams. And then, of course, we acquired Social Point, Playdots, and Nordeus in order to enter the mobile business. And you know, most excitingly, we expect to close our combination with Zynga next week. But over the 15-year history that this management team has been here at Take2, the bulk of our growth, the bulk of our success has been organically driven. And I think that'll continue going forward. And we have great opportunity because combined with Zynga, we have the best collection of owned intellectual property for PC and console and mobile in the business. And I think the most talented creative people, the most talented executives. Of course, I'm speaking from our perspective, but I believe that, and I think we have to deliver on that promise, and we will do so organically. I don't know what opportunities exist given what I hope will be a short-term re-rating of interactive entertainment stocks. Ultimately, all securities will trade on their fundamentals, and the fundamentals in this business are quite strong, and I think will continue to be strong. That said, we have the ability in a highly disciplined way to do more inorganic growth transactions. And if they make sense to us, we will pursue them. But it's probably not the first order of business.
Our next question comes from the line of Matthew Thornton with Truist Securities. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. A couple quick follow-ups. Just coming back to the capital allocation question there, Strauss. I think a couple quarters back, might have been the fiscal third quarter, you actually bought back some stock for the first time in several years. I think you guys have typically done that pretty opportunistically. So my first question here is, given the pullback in the shares after you kind of closed the Zynga deal, would buybacks or opportunistic buybacks be something you'd entertain, or are you trying to perhaps bring leverage down faster? Just kind of any thoughts there. And then just secondly and relatedly, post-close of Zynga, would you wait till the following quarter to issue pro forma guidance? Is that something you might entertain intra-quarter? Just any way for us to think about that would be helpful. Thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, we've said that we believe in returning capital to the shareholders when it makes sense economically, and we've done buybacks on an opportunistic basis. Generally speaking, when we perceived there to be a deep value opportunity in the marketplace, we perceived such deep value at $158 a share. Sitting here today, you know, we were wrong about that. But it's still this management team's view that represents deep value of this company for what that's worth. You know, we are heading into a transaction. We have put leverage on the company for the first time ever. And so I think, you know, again, buybacks won't be our first order of business, but we do retain the flexibility to pursue buybacks if we decide to do so.
Our next question comes from the line of Mike. I'm sorry, were you still?
Sorry, we still have Laney to answer the second part of the question.
My apologies.
Oh, no problem. So for the guidance with Zynga, we plan to provide consolidated guidance when we report our Q1 results in early August.
Our next question comes from the line of Mike Hickey with The Benchmark Company. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Strauss, Carl, Laney, Nicole. Nice quarters, guys. Congratulations, and thanks for taking my questions. Two questions. The first, I'm not sure how much you can speak to this, but sort of, Laney, maybe your philosophy on guidance as it relates to mobile. Do you think there's much of a delta there in terms of what Zynga has provided to the street historically? And then more, I guess, higher view, when you look at the mobile market through the...
Bro, you know I'm going in.
Year,
you know I'm going in.
How are you reflecting on growth of mobile, and is it meeting expectations? Follow-up.
In terms of our guidance process, in terms of mobile, We haven't closed the transaction yet, so we'll start to, work with Zynga closely and get a chance to get under the numbers with them and make sure we have a consistent approach towards how we plan all of our business. So that's the plan right now.
And Strauss, did you have a view just on mobile market growth, if it's still tracking where you thought it would be, or if, first quarter in has changed your view at all?
Yeah, we don't track, growth statistics quarter to quarter. Long term, we believe that there's a wonderful opportunity in interactive entertainment generally, and that mobile will continue to be a rapidly growing segment of the marketplace.
Our next question comes from the line of Doug Creutz with Cowen and Company. Please proceed with your question.
Hey, thanks. One of Zynga's key executives recently left to go take a CEO role at another company. Just wondered if you could give any update on your plans for how the mobile business is going to be run, assuming the transaction closes. Thank you.
It's a little early to have that conversation because the transaction is not closed yet. Zynga's been operating successfully as an independent company for approximately 15 years, and they have highly experienced key personnel across all areas of their business. Under Frank Gibeau's leadership, Zynga has a deep bench of talent, including many executives who aren't exactly public-facing in their roles, but they are running the business on a day-to-day basis. So we're highly confident that there are plenty of talented executives at what will become the Zynga division of Take2, assuming everything goes according to plan. And we're very excited about the future together, and we'll have much more to say about that company after the deal closes.
Okay, thank you.
Our next question comes on the line of Martin Yang with Oppenheimer. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my question. This is more of a longer-term question for Strauss. Can you maybe share with us, how would you characterize the impact of great individual creators, their impact on the commercial outcome of the games, and has that really changed since you started working in the industry?
Well, I think we've put more focus on creative talent here at Take2 than perhaps any other company in the interactive entertainment business, and our success has reflected that choice. It's an easy thing to say, it's a hard thing to do. We truly encourage the most creative people in the industry to come to our company and work on what they're passionate about, and we make decisions that are in service of that approach, that strategy, and our goal to make great art as well as to make great hits. The work is done by teams. All the work here is done by teams, but the leadership is crucial, and we have great creative leadership across the board, and we're really, really proud of that great creative leadership and grateful to them for the results that they continue to deliver here.
Our next question comes from Andrew Marok with Raymond James. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, thanks for taking my questions. You mentioned that you saw some success in the standalone GTA Online version. I guess, who are the players that are getting into GTA Online at this point? How do they differ from the legacy GTA Online players, to the extent that you can provide quantitative data around that as well? And then secondly, is there any updates that you guys have to share maybe on your NFL partnership? Thank you.
Yeah, I think on the GTA players, I think what's most interesting is that the market continues to grow. That we've sold in 165 million units of the title, even though it was launched in 2013. That the title has dominated now 3 console generations. And that when we created a standalone version of Grand Theft Auto Online, lots of people showed up to play it. So clearly the market is huge and continues to grow. And I think Rockstar has done a great job in continuing to make the market accessible for people over a long period of time. But no, we don't have anything specifically to say about the particular people who've shown up, even though we have a lot of good data. And we don't have anything right now to say about the NFL partnership, although we're excited about it and looking forward to the releases that will come in the future.
Our next question comes from Clay Griffin with MoffettNathanson. Please proceed with your question.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Just a point of clarification there. I know it was late in the quarter, but the standalone price for GTA Online, is that, I'm assuming that's getting booked at RCS, or maybe there's some nuance there, just to confirm that. And then just, I'm curious if you could maybe put some thoughts around just the strategy around that. I think, Strauss, you've called the combination of the full game online of tethered and free to play, and just how successful that's been in the past, obviously. But any thoughts around, should we assume that is kind of the MO, I guess, for future titles of this size or ilk?
Sorry, I apologize. If you can, what was your question about pricing?
Standalone.
Oh, just curious if the standalone pricing for GTA Online, is that getting booked as recurring consumer spending, or is that being booked as full game, I guess, is the first question. And the second question.
So the standalone game itself is the full game, but if you're playing it online and buying virtual currency, that's RCS.
And your second question? I'm sorry, I missed the second one as well.
Sure. No, just general thoughts on considering the relative success of tying GTA Online to GTA 5. If we should expect that that's the kind of modus operandi for games of this stature for your biggest IP going forward.
We have said that we expect to offer opportunities to engage with our titles on an ongoing basis after release. We aim to provide such opportunities and to monetize them when it makes sense. But there are all different ways to do that. That could be downloadable add-on content, or that could be an online multiplayer game. It really depends on the title, and as the labels get ready to market and release titles, that will generally be made clear. So it varies title by title. There's not going to be just one singular approach going forward.
Our next question comes from Drew Crum with Stifel. Please proceed with your question.
Okay, thanks. Hey, guys, good afternoon. So I know there's some commentary in the preamble about ramping up profitability in fiscal 24 and 25. Is that solely a function of scale, or do you also anticipate slowing down the investment spend? And where will we see fluctuation in investment spending going forward? Thanks.
It's a combination of scale and also the investments other than direct marketing. We would expect those to slow down. The direct marketing will be in line with what titles come out, but the other expenses like headcount and IT expenses and rent, we would expect that to slow down.
Okay, thanks.
We want to thank you all for your questions today, for your attention, for joining us, and for your support. We really appreciate it. Thanks all.
This concludes today's conference. You may disconnect your lines at this time, and we thank you for your participation.
Oh my God, you guys, so close. So close. Oh my God, if I had called it, if I'd found that number at the beginning. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Oh, I was about to go in. I was about to bring that heat. I had 3 questions. I had 3 ready to go. Oh my God, dude. Oh, I was amped. Yo, listen. Scot-free with Tylarious LLC. Maybe I shouldn't have went with Scot-free. I just found the number, dude, so fuck shit. Oh my God, I was gonna pop off. Oh my God, dude. So, anyways, let's look at some numbers here. Oh my God, dude. Yo, my heart was, I was ready to go. That was my moment. Shit. And I was, next time. Gotta wait a few months. Yeah, Bank of America came with some heat, yeah. I felt like Wells Fargo tried to bring something with the cross-play, and they just didn't do it, though, man. They couldn't do it. Oh, man, Wells Fargo. Next, fucking shit. Yeah, I think Strauss got a little pissed off with Bank of America, too, man. He was like, listen, we do what we want, all right? Forget about it. Oh my God, you guys! I was gonna. Oh. Shit. Oh, hold on. I have to tweet this out on. Oh my God, dude! I had 3 questions ready. I had it all. I already had it all. Oh my God, dude! Damn, dude! Oh my God, I was ready to go. Anyways, let's look at some numbers real quick here. Just gonna go over this real fast. So looks like Take-Two is pushing 2K pretty hard this next coming up year. All right. Looks like, yeah, their core tenets: creativity, innovation, and efficiency. It's good. 12 series individual titles that have sold in over 5 million units. It's a lot of good stuff right there. Civilization, Mafia, development studio staff, head count. A lot of people out there. They got employed. Global video game market just going to be going up. Look, we have it right here. 2022, 235 billion. 2023, 249. It's expected to grow to 282 billion. 2020. God dang, dude. And mobile is, it's unbelievable how much money mobile makes, dude. Digital PC, digital console, and physical software. Console plus PC. So console and PC are going to be about. It looks like digital consoles growing over digital PC a little bit. So gaming industry has a strong secular tailwinds. Average gamers 31 years old. That's crazy. 4% total global video game players expected from 2021 to 2024. There were 3 billion global video game players in 2021. That's insane. We're talking what? That's like 35% of the world right there. Not about 30% of the world, something like that. 369. Yeah, we're about what? 8 billion, something like that. Mobile gaming market estimated 131 billion in gross bookings in 2021. 729 million estimated size of the global games live streaming audience in 2021, which is up 10% versus 2020. It's only going to be roughly the same going forward. 653 million hours in 2021 across Twitch, YouTube. Hold on one second. Let me go back here real quick. Across Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook gaming. Interactive entertainment is the #1 entertainment vertical. So, yeah, gaming outsells music, movies, art, all that. Gaming is the #1 entertainment in the world. And 90% of video game players in the U.S. expect to continue playing after social distancing is no longer required. See, this is the thing, though. This is what they don't get. I think social distancing is going to be like, even though people will be getting out, I don't think it's ever going to go back to the way it was. There's always going to be, I think it'll be a little bit larger group. I think, instead of going back to 100%, it'll be back to like 90%. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's talk about GTA. One of the most successful, iconic, and critically acclaimed brands in all of entertainment. Pioneered the open world genre. The series has sold 375 million units. That is wild. That's unbelievable. GTA 5 alone has sold 165 million units. That's up 5 million. So GTA 5 has sold 5 million copies in just one quarter. A 13-year-old game. I'm sorry, no, not a 13-year-old game. A 9-year-old game has sold 5 million copies in just one quarter. Jesus, in 3 months. Released across unprecedented 3 console generations, reached $1 billion in retail sales faster than any entertainment in release history. Best-selling game of the past 10 years in the U.S. based on both unit and dollar sales. Unbelievable. Constantly evolving, regular release of free updates. Over 40 free updates. That's big. Free with every copy of GTA 5, the online version. And the standalone version was launched not too long ago, 2022. Red Dead. We got good news on Red Dead Redemption. They were talking about releasing. Have I not been saying that on Twitter? Have I not been saying that? Red Dead is not dead. They are gonna. This game is too big. It's too big to just let sit in the winds. They are gonna be giving content to Red Dead. I'm telling you, man. We're gonna see some stuff come out here. So the series has sold over 67 million units worldwide. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold over 44 million units. RDR2 is the second best-selling title in the U.S. in the past 5 years based on dollar sales. Red Dead Online is free with every copy of Red Dead 2, and the standalone version was released in December 2020. All right. I totally think with GTA kind of getting a little bit of they're kind of getting lax with GTA on the updates, and with GTA 6 still kind of like in limbo with what announcements. I'm telling you, man, they're going to turn up on Red Dead. They really are. Let's see, Rockstar Games' diverse portfolio of industry-leading intellectual property. They've utilized revolutionary facial animation technology and deep story to blur the lines between film and games. First video game to be an official selection of the Tribeca film. This is LA Noire, by the way. LA Noire, the VR case files, is one of the industry's top-rated virtual reality experiences. It actually is kind of cool, the VR thing with that. Midnight Club series created the open city street racing genre. I would love to see some more Midnight Club stuff come out. Max Payne, most technologically sophisticated cinematic action shooter to date, announced that Remedy Entertainment, the creators of Max Payne, will remake the iconic Max Payne and Max Payne 2. The fall of Max Payne video games, a new project agreement with Rockstar Games. That's cool. Very good for that. Yeah, 2K is going to be blown up, dude. I think they're pushing hard on 2K. The 2K series best-selling basketball simulation property based on dollar sales in the U.S. Franchise extended 2K Online in China. You heard them say it's the best-selling sports game. It's 57 million active users. That's wild, dude. And think about that. Think about the growth you have in China. Unbelievable. NBA 2K Mobile, Playgrounds 2K, NBA 2K for Apple, Arcade, Supercard. The series has sold over 123 million units worldwide. One of the top contributors to Take-Two's reoccurring consumer spending. That's facts. That's facts. 2K is a big chunk of their income. The 2K League, the first competitive gaming league jointly owned by a U.S. professional sports league, debuted in May 2018. Now, I know you guys are thinking like EA, Madden. Yeah, Madden is like the first, but this is the first with like a jointly owned U.S. professional sports league. Their diverse portfolio of industry-leading intellectual property, Borderlands 3. The franchise has sold 75 million units. That's more than Red Dead. I didn't know. Borderlands is pretty big. That's more than Red Dead. Of course, I think it's been out longer than Red Dead. Oh, no, I don't think it has. It's been around the same. Borderlands 3 is 2K's fastest-selling title and has sold over 15 million units to date. Borderlands 2 is 2K's top-selling title with over 26 million units sold to date. That's crazy. It's a lot of units, man. I'm surprised they haven't pushed hard. I guess they will be pushing harder on that. BioShock franchise has sold 39 million units. Received perfect scores from an accredited Metacritic-level media outlet. Civilization is actually a really good game on PC. If you guys have never played Civilization, it's actually really cool. One of the world's top strategy titles for PC franchise has sold over 62 million units, successful expansion packs as well. I've always been a fan of...
Greetings and welcome to Take-Two fourth quarter and fiscal year 2022 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode.
Let's go back. Hold on. What was that? All right, here we go. Anyways, yes, I've always been a fan of Age of Empires, Total War, and then Civilization has been a really cool game too. So 2K is diverse. They got Mafia 3, 2K21. This new golf game coming out is going to be dope. I might have to check that out. WWE franchise. Highest grossing mobile game with 26 million downloads. WWE Supercard. Wow, that's insane. Some of the private division key releases. That's pretty cool. And of course, their mobile game stuff. It's just getting, the mobile gaming market is crazy, man. I'm just not that big of a mobile. I prefer the console or PC. That's just my, what, are you guys big mobile gamers? What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm console and PC. The mobile gaming thing to me is just, it's too much pay to win, too much, microtransactions, and that's coming from someone who plays GTA. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just don't. I don't get where the growth has got to be, and I don't know, man. I just can't believe it's so huge. The growth is huge with mobile. Company growth drivers, development pipeline, engagement with promoting and recurrent consumer spending. Obviously, GTA 2K, mobile offer, expanding our mobile offerings and capabilities with the supercharge with our pending combination with Zynga. This purchase with Zynga is going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge. Anticipated close on 23rd. So I guarantee you, buy stock now before May 23rd, because I guarantee you Take2 stock is going to blow up on May. Maybe not blow up, but it's going to go up. Their pipeline details for fiscal year 23 through fiscal year 25. 25. So core games, they got the Quarry, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Kerbal Space Program, NBA 2K3, 2K23, WW, blah, 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 blah. Notice they don't say too much about GTA on this, right? So huge with 2K, pushing huge with 2K, right? On the mobile side, the Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, Rockstar Games Mobile, planned for fiscal year 2023, new tales, and then right here, new iterations of previously released titles. This has got to be where GTA 6 comes in. This has got to be. Maybe there's lumping it in, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're not saying anything about GTA 6 on this at all. Yeah, they're being real scandalous with that. So immersive core, as well as GTA and Red Dead Redemption, to name a few. See this right here, the pipeline definitions. Yeah, they're nah. So yeah, the mid-core stuff, blah 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 blah. Okay, it's good. Promoting engagement and growth and recurrent consumer spending. Of course, GTA is on top. NBA and Red Dead. The mobile games as well. Expanding our mobile offerings and capability. High quality free to play IP. All these mobile games. God, look at all this, dude. Core game experience. This is going to be crazy. Implementing new business models. Not too much about GTA Plus. I'm not seeing anything about that. PlayStation Plus, of course, to be tapping into that. No, participating in new distribution channels. Direct to consumer, the Rockstar Games launcher, the 2K launcher, Stadia, Games Pass. The emerging opportunities, of course, esports, the joint venture between Take2 and the NBA. While sponsors and partners include AT&T, Bud Light, Champion, Coinbase, DoorDash, Google, Rainer Gaming, SAP, Scuf, Sony, and Snickers. Wow. That's going to be, yeah, this is why they're pushing 2K so hard, man. They have a lot of stuff going on with this. And then the 2K, the league, is partnered with the city of Indianapolis to bring all tournaments as well as playoff and finals to its new home at the Pavilion at Pan Am. That's a big deal right there. Then 2K Online. Big stuff in China. Oh my God, Kerbal Space Program in China as well. They're just going to have a huge market out there. I wonder how big. Did they say anything about GTA in China? I bet you there's not much about GTA in China. Maybe there is. I don't know though. Long-term bookings. The bookings dropped a little bit. That's to be expected. Everybody was, in the whole. I mean, look. 2019 right? 2018 was the start of the pandemic. 2019, 2020 was the heart of it, right? Even into 2019 to 2021, that's the heart of the social distancing. I mean, it goes from 2 to 2.9. That's billion, 2.9 billion, right? Up to 3.5. So in just a couple of years, it goes from 1.9 billion to 3.5 billion. And everyone's kind of getting back into the regular, day-to-day stuff. So, but it's still staying pretty high. It's dropped a little bit, like they said, but it's huge numbers, man. Oh my God, dude. Diversified across all platforms. Console is still the biggest platform where net bookings are coming across. PC is at 17%, mobile's at 12%, and console is at 71%. So mobile is absolutely expanding, right? And it's chipping away. It's chipping away at both PC and console. It's chipping away at both. It looks like console's holding off a little bit better than PC net bookings, but mobile shipping away. They have a whole bunch of cash. He said they have very little debt as well, and their culture, all that good stuff. Some other financial things. Yeah, so still making big money, man. They're still riding that whole pandemic wave right there. And that's good. A lot of money to be made out there, which good for them, right? Whatever. But I think, I think I'm gonna make some more purchases in their stock here the next day or so before May 23rd. I know why mobile gaming is big. Everyone's got a cell phone, right? Not everyone can afford a console or a PC. Not everybody can afford a $500 console. You can get a cell phone for free. You can get a brand new cell phone. You just trade in your old one, get your new one. Everybody has cell phones, right? Everybody. I mean, everybody does. Okay, so that not everybody has console gaming, and cell phone gaming it's easier, it's more intuitive than your actual console. You have to have started out with console or PC gaming, and you continue on. A console gamer or a PC gamer can pick up a phone and game all day. However, somebody who starts out with a mobile gaming device, it's more difficult to step into the console or PC world. First of all, there's a paywall, and second of all, there's a learning curve, and I think that's the biggest deal right there. So I think my definition of that is on point. I think my understanding of that, in my opinion, obviously it's my opinion, but you guys let me know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Sky, you think the stock's going to continue to go down? I was watching some stuff. They were talking about Take2 today on CNBC, and everyone's got a buy rate. They're all saying buy it right now. Everyone's saying buy it. Zach, no, phones do not cost more, dude. You can get an upgrade for free. You upgrade your phone. I'm not sure. You're in the States. You know how it is. I can go right now and take my phone and upgrade it for free. I get the trade-in value. All it is just, a reoccurring monthly. There may be an activation fee of like $30 or something like that, You know what I'm saying? So, Sky, that is, you know what? You're right on that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if they keep increasing rates, it will go down. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah. For gaming, no, Zach, I'm not sure you understand. Mobile gaming is the least amount. It doesn't take. It's very, very hardware friendly. Mobile gaming is very hardware friendly. You know what I mean? You can run mobile games on cell phones, and it doesn't really tax the phone. It'll eat the battery up, because if your screen is real bright and shit like that. So, okay, you paid $1,100 for your phone. Why are you buying a phone for $1,100? That doesn't make any sense. Dude, Zach, how many mobile? Just look at what they have on their mobile platform here. Let me show you. Dude, all these games you would think would melt a phone. No, dude, they've got Warzone mobile. They've got PUBG Mobile. They've got tons of all these games already on mobile, dude. Tons of them. All the mobile games are totally dumbed down. It's not really that demanding for the game or for the hardware of the phone itself. If you guys are paying MSRP for a phone, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I have never paid any more. The most I've ever paid for a cell phone was $200, and that was back on the old contracts when you had to do like if you wanted to upgrade before your 2-year contract was up, it would cost you $200 to do that. So, yeah. No, right now I can go take in my Samsung. I got a $900 credit, and then whatever money is left over, it just goes to the bill. You just pay a little bit more on the bill until it's paid off. That's all you gotta do. If there's anything even left over. Now, phone, you shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for a new phone. You know what I mean? At all. If Take2 loses $8, support is really bad. Yeah, right now they're trading at the same trading. They're trading at the same levels they were at in like 2009. So. Root. That's exactly what I'm talking about, dude. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I haven't had to pay for a new phone in like forever, dude. You just swap it out. So. That's crazy. You do it because you have lots of wealth. You're such a savage, I swear to God. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, Papi Chulo. Every time we've had to trade a phone in, you give them your old phone, unless your old phone is totally destroyed. You give them your old phone that's a trade-in value, and you can pay up front if you want to. If not, you apply it to your monthly bill. I mean, and a lot of times they do promotions where it's an even trade. Like the old phone, they give you enough to cover the new phone. So I'm not sure what you guys are doing, man. You gotta be a little bit smarter than that. You gotta get the. Now listen, if you just bust your phone out, yeah, I get that. You might have to. That's different. So. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're pushing hard on 2K. Red Dead's gonna be getting some updates. Bank of America was goated. And I almost got in on the damn call. Oh my God, can you guys believe that? I was almost there. Yo, Scott Free coming back with Tylarious LLC, dude. Well, I bet they were like looking it up and they saw me broadcasting live and shit. They're like, nah. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, and then when they purchase Zynga on the 23rd, that's gonna be big for them. When the acquisition goes through, that's gonna be big. Good times. Good times. All right, guys. I'm gonna release the video. The hour. It's like it's not an hour long. But I'm gonna release the long version of the Cayo Perico challenge. Oh, and you guys want to hear what my 3 questions were? I had 3 questions ready to go. Yeah, this is Scott Free with OLGZ Incorporated. Yeah. You guys want to hear the question? I had 3. This I already had. I had it planned out. I've been thinking about this for a while. I had this planned out. Should I keep him? Squirrel, should I just keep him to myself? Oh, yeah, I think Squirrel's right. I'm just going to keep him to myself. Yeah. Oh, man, I had that hot fire, though, bro. Ooh. I had that hot fire. It was ready to go. I had that hot fire. Okay. I got the video. It's about to drop. It's a little bit later. I'm gonna kill the broadcast now. I'm gonna get me some dinner. I'm gonna work out, and then I'm gonna do a Members Monday stream. I wanted this one to be open for everybody. So I'm gonna I'll do a members Monday stream later tonight. I'm gonna drop the video of the Cayo Perico challenge. It's the long version, and I'm gonna have a more edited, shorter version later in the week. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna drop that here in just a minute. You guys make sure everybody watch that, drop a like on it, comment, all that good stuff. All right, and then so I'm gonna get me some dinner, do a quick workout, and then we'll do a broadcast, the members Monday. All right. Thank you guys. So, hey, this is a great conference call. Thank you all so much for watching. You know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for the Ills and Reels content in the game. Smash that like button. And we'll see you guys in the next one, right? Peace out. Yeah.